Hey everyone, Dreamtree here. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different than my normal content. Instead of making an epic montage video or whatever, I decided I wanted to do an actual post commentary video, and I wanted to showcase this plane I've been really enjoying, the Alpha Jet A. It's kind of one of those off meta jets where it doesn't really have control over the battle rating. It's not a meta defining aircraft, as I like to say, but it has a few specific advantages that I think make it really usable as more of a support fighter, and I think really fun. And so what really makes this plane good to me is it has a combination of really high pull at high speeds, very good aircraft authority at high speeds, so you have really good roll rate, and you can pull between like 14 to 15 Gs in the 1,000 to 800 kmh range. And you do bleed a lot of energy doing this, but you do gain your speed back really quickly because your acceleration is honestly really good for an 8.7 aircraft. So the combination of the high speed pull, the roll rate, combined with being able to get the energy back quickly, even though you bleed it, makes this a really good aircraft, I think, for capitalizing on people's mistakes and catching people off guard. So it's really an aircraft that you can switch from being a little more passive, kind of reading the flow of the game, reading the flow of the match, setting up for energy, but also you can be really aggressive and catch people off guard. So I see this F-104. Head-ons in this plane are pretty sketchy, I think, so I'm not a huge advocate of taking head-ons in this aircraft. I don't really have a good aspect there, so I don't stick in it. I think a lot of people, they feel like they have to stick in a head-on no matter what, and you really don't. Just be patient. War Thunder is a game of patience, and so I don't like the head-on approach. So I fire quick bursts. I know I'm not really going to hit, but just put some rounds out there, and then I go on to continue gaining energy, because right now I'm just kind of reading the flow of the game. I'm seeing what kind of opportunities can I pick up, because really in this plane you're looking to capitalize on people's mistakes, because you're not running someone down. You're not defining the flow of the game. You're strictly making sure that you punish people who are making mistakes. So I see this A32. We are losing our tickets, and he's bombing our base. He's right in my way, so why not take him? He carries the loop here a bit, but I'm an Alpha Jet. Not a lot he can do. Severe damage. I'm not going to waste any more time on him. I've already severed him. Don't want to waste my time. Don't want to waste my ammo. Instead, I want to get back over to the furball, because really, in War Thunder, the games are really fast-paced, and what you should really always be thinking about is, what can I do to influence the game? I think a lot of people, they're maybe focused on getting a lot of kills, they're getting, focused on getting a lot of RP, but really you want to think about what can I do to influence the flow of the game. This F-25, he doesn't really see me. I'm able to get a crit on him. Instead of, pulling back for him, I don't want to set myself up in case there's someone above me. I don't want to bleed all my energy, so I continue with my momentum, and I see an F-100. I'm going to go for him. This F-100 is also pretty preoccupied with my teammate, so I'm able to kind of pitch up here and get a snapshot in, severe him. And instead of pulling back, I want to continue my momentum, because I don't want to give my ass to this F-104. So I continue looking at him. I have a pretty good aspect for a head-on here, so I decide to take it. I get a hit, unfortunately, but no big deal. Even if it's a hit, his combat effectiveness is still reduced, so I can continue with my momentum. That's kind of the end of this game. I kind of turn around here because I do want the kill on this F-86F. I crit him, so I'm greedy. I want the kill. So I do turn around for him. The A-32 is severed, so I'm not going to worry about him either. And the F-104, he eventually ends up crashing. But yeah, I really enjoy this plane. And you get flares at 8.7, which is really good on the German one. I would say the biggest letdown of this aircraft is the fact that the gun is pretty awkward to aim, and it's pretty inconsistent. You have this single Mauser BK 27mm, and it has really good fire rate, but the damage is sketchy. I run stealth on it because the stealth belts are the only belts that don't have a practice round in it. But yeah, it's awkward aim, and it's the biggest shortcoming of the plane, I think. So this game here, it's a full 9-3 up tier. Well, not a full up tier, but you know what I'm saying, a 9-3 up tier. And I'm stuck here with this F-104 and F-3H. This F-3H, it's kind of a hard counter in my plane, because he does what I do, but better. He is a high accelerating aircraft that can pull really hard, so he does what I do. I don't expect him to pull back here. I don't like the head-on approach, so I don't take it. And I hesitate here because I don't expect him to turn back and bleed more speed. But he does, and so I see that he's going really slow and can't really pull in here. So I capitalize on that, and I'm able to take him out of the match, which is good, because I don't want that aircraft coming back to kill me later when the numbers are less in my favor in the match. So I see this Venom here. I want to continue with this head-on because I want to get speed. I want to go straight. I don't want to turn back. I see an opportunity to get a recommit, but I don't need to. He just kills himself anyway. And then I'm going 700 here, so that's a little bit slow for a jet game. So I'm continuing with my momentum, and I'm continuing to just go straight and kind of see, what opportunities can I get. I want to get myself maybe back up like 850, 900 kmh, so that I'm not going slow. I'm not an easy target. This F104, I think I had like a situational awareness failure. I didn't really expect him to just show up, but this is pretty hard target for an F104 to hit, and I kind of reverse mirror, and he just flies straight. Again, it's not really an impressive kill because he just flies straight, but that's kind of how you have to play this plane, is just capitalizing on the mistakes, because I'm never going to kill an F104 in an Alpha Jet if he plays it correctly. It's just not going to happen. So you can punish people for their mistakes, but again, you can't define the flow of the match. You can't take control of those fights. You are reliant on the mistakes of superior aircraft. Obviously in an up tier. In a down tier, it's a little bit different because this plane is like the king rat. You're going to fight a lot of A4Es, a lot of F-84Fs, stuff like that, and really they can't touch you because you just destroy them in really all aspects. In acceleration, in an energy fight, you have control. So my teammate drags this A4E up for me. He's going slow. That's a great opportunity for me. I get to thin out some numbers on their team. I severe him. He's dead. This whole match basically just turns into me, running around trying to chase Sea Vixens, so not much to show there. This game, I think this is, so right here I'm pitching for this Sab 105. I think it's okay to be aggressive and pitch like this, but you need to have good situational awareness if you're going to do it. You can be aggressive and pitch vertical someone, but don't do it if there's a whole bunch of people behind you. And don't stick in it. Like, if he decided to keep going vertical, I'm going to pull off. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay with that. It's not beneficial to me. Kind of difficult to get the aim in. Eventually I critical hit him. I pull off fair because I don't want to get reversed. But he's pretty cooked, I think. Paranoia flare. I turn back. I see he's coming back for me. I don't really want to pull in front of his guns, and I also don't want to get slow because there are people nearby. More paranoia flyers just to get rid of his missile. I have a lot of speed right now, so I'm able to turn, but I'm not doing max pull. I'm kind of like tapping my elevator key so I don't bleed all my energy. I pull back around, and he J's up for me, which is nice, so I get the kill there. And then I'm kind of worried about my team getting demolished here, and I see that there's a cloud of 3 guys. So there's an F3H, an F86, I think there was an F3H, yeah, an F3H, an F86, and a Sab 105 right here. There's also an F100. So in this case, I'm worried about my team getting demolished, and so I want to put myself in a kind of risky position here because I want to see if I can kill some of these guys while they're preoccupied with the SU-7. Unfortunately, my SU-7 dies. Not really his fault. Not a lot he can really do in that situation, except maybe run. But I still want to get these guys out of the game. I want to get as many kills as I can here because I want to thin out the numbers before I end up in like a 1vx situation. I want to get kills for my team. This F3H, I don't really know what he was doing here. He reversed his turn in front of me. I'm able to get the severe here, which really helps me because, again, an F3H is kind of a hard counter to this aircraft. I really don't want him on my 6 when I'm trying to fight this Saber in F100. I take kind of a sketchy hit on here, really because I don't have a lot of options. There's not a lot I can do in a 1v2 against an F100 and F86 F2. I'm definitely not winning a raid fight against an F2. So I take a sketchy hit on just to maybe get a kill. Fortunately, it doesn't happen. The Saber he takes kind of a passive line here. I don't know really what he was doing either. Kind of like the Demon. I get a crit, and that's great. The crit is only a damage to tail, so he could have stayed in this fight, but he doesn't really want to fight me. And now I have an F100 on my 6. So I kind of pull downward, and then I pull back up again. I reverse my turn. He can't do a lot there. He's an F100. He's an absolute boat of the speed. I have plenty of speed right now. I go above. I loop back down. I'm watching that F2 to make sure he doesn't come back. The F100 goes high. I have all the energy in the world in this fight. I can go back up in the vertical. He can't even complete the full vertical loop, and now I'm in a perfect position to kill this guy. So I just come back down, flaps out, and he literally can't leave. Again, if the F100 plays that correctly, he is in the superior aircraft. He is in the higher BR plane. I can't do anything if he plays for speed and he plays for position. But again, I'm in an aircraft that is really good at capitalizing on people's mistakes, so I'm able to kill him there when he screws up. And that's what makes this plane fun, because you get to rat around, you're hard to hit, you have crazy roll rate, and it's just fun. You can capitalize on people's mistakes, you can slam the superior plane. It's not meta defining, but it is really enjoyable. And it's also a really good strafe aircraft, so I want my kill here. I crit this guy, and I want to make sure I get the kill. Spain's a pretty good map for you to airfield strafe on, even though A is absolutely broken right now. As long as you can hide behind a ridge, you're safe most of the time, and so Spain's one of those maps you can do this on. So I fly down here. Sab 105 is also here. He's just taking off. Easy kill for me. I don't think he even sees me as I come up across this ridge. Super damage. And then I go to kill this F2 as well. So this game, I'd say we're up against this guy in a MiG-15 who's a pretty decent player. I'm positioning here because I don't want to make myself an attractive target to him. I don't want to kind of pitch up and bleed all my energy, especially because I'm on a map where the altitude is always 2,700 or above, and I really don't have like the air, the density of the air is lower, so I don't have as much power in my engines, and I don't have as much lift, which is not a great situation for this plane. So my acceleration is reduced, and you kind of feel like a boat on this map in this plane. So I don't want to pitch up and bleed all my energy. So instead, I'm going to dive down, I'm going to make myself a difficult target for him, and I'm just going to see if I can get some kills here because I want to thin out their team's numbers and get that advantage for my team. So this F-30, he's kind of rolling and pulling in front of me. He decides to turn left here. When you're turning like this, the best thing to do in this situation, yes, he's turning, and yes, he's rolling, but he's also not really changing his trajectory. So what he should have done there is he probably should have rolled and then pulled down underneath me to make that shot more difficult. But he doesn't do that, so I'm able to capitalize on that and get the kill. I continue with my momentum. I see this A4E in front of me, and I can gain speed while also setting up to kill this guy because he's slow, he's dogfighting my teammate, he's right where I am, so why not get the kill, get that team advantage, and get a kill for myself. Coming across this ridge. He is very busy with my teammate. Or was busy with my teammate. I think he killed him. Severe him. I move on. Initially, I was looking at the IL-28, but I didn't really want to go for the IL-28. Instead, I was thinking more, I want to go back towards my team to where the fight is happening. But then I spot this F-86 F-40 that is isolated. And an F-40 is a plane that is pretty dangerous to you in the Alpha Jet because he also pulls really well, but he can outrate me, and he has a lot more energy, and his low-speed pull is also better than mine. He takes a pretty aggressive line here. He like pulls away from me and then comes back and tries to pull up, but he doesn't really have the energy to do this. And I am at the apex of my turn here, my loop, and so I'm able to crit him and take his tail control. I think if he, instead of taking such an aggressive line vertically, if he had pulled back down underneath me and then gone vertical after, that I would not have had the energy to fight him. And then, he has all the advantage in the world at the low speed, and I really would not have been able to do anything there. But that's this plane. You capitalize on people's mistakes. You don't define the fight. I'm going really slow here, and again, because I'm on this map, I don't have really a lot of ability to get my acceleration, to get my speed back. So my plan here is, I don't see anyone except this J-29 that's coming, but I didn't see him at this point. So I was like, I'm going to go back towards the enemy team and get some speed and try and, kill this Saber, kill this MiG. The J-29 is here. I get really lucky because his head-on is really sketchy, and I'm really a boat at 500, and he misses. He has very fast guns. I'm very fortunate. He also pulls a pretty aggressive line here. I'm able to capitalize on it. He tries to go vertical at the last second, but I'm able to get a hit, and even though it's just a hit, it's actually pretty significant damage to him, and his plane is flopping around. He's going really slow now. It looks like he has engine damage. I'm able to come back in with the flaps and kill him. Kind of similar to the F-40. I think if he had pulled more vertical, he had way more energy in that merge. If he had gone vertical there, I would not have been able to fall. He could have looped back down on me and killed me. But again, capitalize on their mistakes. And this fight really just turns into me trying to kill this MiG-15. They just have a couple IL-28s and a Tu-4 left. This MiG-15 has been playing at altitude most of the game. I can't really do a lot to him in an Alpha Jet. He has much better energy retention than me, much better acceleration at that altitude, and he's going to pull much harder except at the really high-end speed, which I'm not really going to have at that altitude. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to draw him away from Razor, who's trying to go land, because if I am going to have to fight this guy, I don't want to fight him in a 1v1 because I can't really win that 1v1. So I'm trying to drag him away from Razor while also gaining as much position as I possibly can. I'm getting a little bit of altitude and shallow climb here so that I have some energy, some potential energy and altitude to work with if I really have to fight that guy. Thankfully, he makes it pretty easy for me though. Instead of coming after me, he decides that he's going to go for the B-57, and he ends up full committing with this guy and dying in the head-on. So well, he doesn't die in the head-on. He gets crit, and then he bails out to deny me the kill, which makes it pretty easy. So I'm actually really glad I didn't have to fight him because I probably wouldn't have been able to kill him because he, as I said, is probably better than average in that plane. But yeah, this is a pretty new content for me. I really enjoy this plane, and so I want to make a video on it. I've wanted to do post-commentary stuff for a long time, but I just never got around to doing it because of school, work, life, whatever, motivation, laziness, honestly. But I would really appreciate some genuine criticism from anyone watching about, if you'd like to see more of this or what I could do to make the video, a better experience for you guys or more helpful. Because at the end of the day, I want videos like this to be about teaching people and helping them play the game better. So I really appreciate some genuine feedback and really what you would like to see more of. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you watching. Have a good day.